Good morning, everyone. How are you today? I know it's late checking in with you this week, but I did want to just stop by and check in and see how your week is going. I hope that you haven't been too overwhelmed with these storms that have been happening, and I really pray that you don't have any water damage in your home from all of the rain that we've been having. I hope that you are able to get some sleep during these storms in the middle of the night, and I hope that soon we'll be back to the bright sunshine that was happening at the beginning of this week. I wanted to stop by and share something with you that I discovered this week as I was researching change and what to do when change comes and how change happens in our lives. I ran across this article by a gentleman by the name of Barry Farber, and I don't really know much about Mr. Farber except that he's a marketing person and he sells things on QVC sometimes. But I thought that there was a lot of wisdom in this article that he wrote because he listed 3 simple things that we can do when change is happening around us to help us deal with that change in our lives. And certainly right now we know that we're all trying to learn how to deal with major changes in our lives. So this is what he had to say that I wanted to share. The first one was, learn something new every day. Now that might be difficult for some folks if you've got a really busy schedule. I know that it's hard to sit down and read and do things that are different during the day as something in a learning situation. But he says that learning something just for 15 minutes a day, reading something or researching something or learning a new skill for just 15 minutes a day can help us become prepared for changes that come our way. It increases our knowledge base. It increases our ability to understand new situations. So I took that to heart the other day, and while I typically am reading a lot about theology or scripture or something like that, I decided that I wanted to really learn the language Scots Gaelic. I brought some books home with me from Scotland, and I drug those back out of the shelf the other day, and I began looking at those, reading those, going online to YouTube, watching people teach the language of Scots Gaelic. And I have a few words that are now in my repertoire that maybe someday I will share with you. One that I took to heart really quickly was Acharich, and that means my friend. Acharich, I am with you right now. The other thing that he says to do is to take smaller steps. I don't know if you're like me, but I am kind of an all or nothing kind of gal. It's either one way or the other, and I have a lot of trouble taking things slowly and taking small steps. But Lori Ducharme reminded me the other night of something that her doctor says to her. He always says, stop trying to hit the home run. Take a base hit. That's something that we do teach our children when we teach them baseball, is that getting a base hit is the foundation for getting to home plate. So I've been trying this week to slow down a little bit and not trying to hit the home run as much as I want to, but to get a base hit and to get one thing accomplished that I know needs to get done. I can't tell you how much it's been helping me to not have that all or nothing thinking going all the time. The last thing that Mr. Farber said was to be adaptable. You know, we know that when species don't adapt, they die off. And so he shared in his article this quote from martial arts that I think has a lot of wisdom for us. He said that in martial arts, there is a quote that goes, "What's hard dies, what's soft lives." And in martial arts, they teach folks to be flexible and to be open so that they can see where they need to go next. His point is that when we're too rigid and we're too hard about things, things should not be this way or things should be that way. When we're too rigid, we're actually dying off. And that if we could just become a little bit more adaptable in our lives, we would see that there are many options in front of us for what we need to do, the task of change that we need to go through. So I just wanted to share those with you today. His quote on being adaptable is something I'm going to use in my sermon this week because we know that adaptability is a characteristic of resilience, and we're talking about resilience during our worship times. Remember that last week we talked about how being resilient was being able to bend in a situation and stand up and do what you know you need to be doing, rather than trying to control the situation or not accepting where you are. So this week we'll talk about adaptability and how our being adaptable helps us as the people of God to be resilient people and do the work for God in this world. In other words, we have to be prepared for all of the changes that come our way. We can't reject the change. We can't ignore the changes. We can't hope or pray that change will not come. Change is always going to come. I think there's a song about that somewhere, but I won't sing it for you today. I hope, as I said before, that you are doing well. I hope that you are safe and being well. Remember to wear your masks and your gloves out in public so that you are protected as much as you possibly can be. And this week we're doing Passing of the Peace, where you send a picture of yourself in a place that is your favorite place on earth. I think there'll probably be a picture of Steve and I and some other friends in Scotland, because that's my favorite place right now. And when you think about the fact that my other favorite place is Disneyland, that's a big deal that I'll be sending you a picture of somewhere else in the world. Be well, take care, and I hope if you need anything that you'll give me a text or a call. Just be mindful of the fact that you can do this. You can get through this because you're walking with the one who helps us go through every change that comes to our life. And remember that that one has been with us since the moment we were born, because from the moment we are born, we are changing. Let that one guide you this week. Learn something new, take smaller steps, be adaptable, and the change will not seem as insurmountable in your life. Have a great rest of your day, and I hope to see you in online worship on Sunday morning. Bye.